Hey everyone, it's Dan from the FMV Archive, and today we are doing Her Story, the 2015 game released pretty much on mobile devices, iOS, Android, and Windows. This game was developed by Sam Barlow, and at its core, it's a police procedural. You're sitting at a computer and you're watching clips of 7 different interrogations of a woman. This woman, Hannah, is under suspicion of killing her husband, or did she? That's what you're doing with these clips, finding out did she or did she do it? How did she do it if she did do it? And if she didn't do it, who's guilty of this murder? Going to spoil one thing for you off the bat. This is the only woman in this whole entire game. There is no other characters in this. You are relying on one person to carry this entire story, which is something that is either going to be really amazing or really boring. We're going to find out in our review. But for now, let's go in a little bit into the story. You're accessing these files, but how do you do it? You find out really early on that you can't play long files at one time. You cannot watch an entire interrogation. What you can do, though, is search through the words of each interrogation. So you type in the word car. Car comes up. Every time she mentions car in her interrogation, little clippets of those interrogations will pop up. You click on one, you watch it, you find out some information. Some things are as simple as whether she picks coffee or tea. But in the end, you have to piece this together to make your own decision on whether or not she actually committed this murder. In total, there are 271 clips to look at in this game, which cover probably about 3 or 4 hours of actual video. Some of them range for as low as 5-6 seconds to as high as 2 minutes. Everything in this storytelling experience is out of context. There is nothing linear to this. There is no pathway on how you get through. You don't know. You are going through and it is going at your pace since you are the one typing in the words. One of the things that draws you in is the answers to her questions. Although you would never hear the questions, you're just hearing the answers. Her answer is so ambiguous that you don't know really what she's trying to get across. Is she hiding something or is she telling you the truth the entire time? Sam Barlow compares this to the Dogma 95 movement. If you were around in filmmaking at that time, this is when you were kind of doing bare bones, no effects filmmaking. A lot of people tried to use natural light. A lot of people tried to make it look as real as possible. And that's what you get here with Her Story, a very real looking game. He also wanted a very 1994 feel to it, so he ran all these clips through a VHS player and taped it on VHS to give it that VHS 1994 interrogation look. He's also done a couple other games. Telling Lies is kind of the spiritual sequel to this one. This game was critically acclaimed when it came out. It still gets great reviews today. Polygon even named Hannah one of the top 10 characters in video games of the 2010s. So how's this game stack up in the FMV archive? Let's find out in our deep dive review. Number 1, look and graphics. Right off the bat, this is a 9. It looks fantastic. Love that Barlow put this through a VHS player to give it the authentic look. Love the computer, the screen that you're working on. Totally looks like something that you would have got in 1994. Dude, you're getting a Dell. Looks 100% like that. This is also a rare game where the handheld, I think, improves your experience. This is a one-on-one conversation you're having with the woman in this story, more or less, and it really brings you in, really makes you feel like a part of the story, that you're enclosed, you're encapsulated, and everything is happening right here in front of you on your screen. 9 out of 10 on the looking graphics here. Up next, gameplay. This one is really good. It is really unique. You're typing in the words. When you see something that she says that is interesting, you want to dive more into that. If she said it, you see it in the clips, so it makes it very interesting. Only complaint is you do not unlock everything in this game. No matter what happens when you finish the game, there is not a unlock all the clips code that you can put in. Still solid 8 out of 10 here for gameplay. The story. This is why you're playing the game. The story is absolutely phenomenal. It is written in a very smart way. It is revealed in a very smart way. There are clips that you get that you think would explain everything, but out of context, they mean very little. So you really have to dive into it to find out exactly how all these pieces connect. Even though there isn't a true ending to the game, it does end, and there is something that I think is pretty satisfying when you finish it. Story, 10 out of 10, absolutely amazing. Up next, dialogue. Well, if it's a Dogma 95 movie, you're going to find that there are very little effects. There's very much happening on screen, so it is story-driven. So if it's story-driven, there better be some great dialogue, and this one has superb dialogue. Kind of reminds me of the film History of the Occult, if you've never seen that one, a great Argentinian horror film, but every word in that movie matters. You miss a word, something is going to be lost in that movie. That's exactly what happens here. There are things that you think are innocuous, like her picking coffee or tea, but make a great deal of difference in this story. Kudos to you, Sam Barlow. You made dialogue extremely interesting. 10 out of 10 on this one. The consequences of your decisions. Do your choices matter in this game? Yes and no. Since the game is non-linear, it goes wherever you want it to go, which is a good thing. However, it really doesn't matter to get the ending. You just have to keep on putting in information and watching clips. And even if you don't get it, even if you don't understand the story, it still kind of ends when you watch so many clips. And if you didn't pick up on the little nuances in there, you're going to miss out on something. It's not like a lot of FMV detective games where you're finding clues, running those clues through some type of computer, and coming to a conclusion. There are no conclusions that are pounded into your face on this one, which some people will like and some people will really dislike. I preferred it. But the consequences in such a free-flowing game are not all that important, so we're going to give you a 5 for consequences here. Acting, easy choice. This is a 10. This is absolutely amazing. You're hanging on every word of this woman. She does a fantastic knock it out of the park job on this one. This would have won an Oscar if there were Oscars for video games. She is absolutely superb in this. Direction and cinematography. Not much is asked of the director in this. It is just a stationary camera that is pointed at a woman. However, the small, subtle changes in the clothes that she is wearing, how her hair is, those types of things are done very well, and if you get it and you listen to the whole story and you enjoy the ending, you're going to find that these subtle differences make a big difference in the end. Still really well done, and you're immersed in the story, so you got to give it 8 out of 10 here. Music. Up next, music. Is the music done well in this game? Yes, it is done really well. It changes in tone throughout the game. It is subtle, which it should be subtle. This is not an action movie where you're throwing grenades through windows and rescuing kids out of burning buildings. You're doing an interview right here. Got to give music an 8 out of 10 here. Up next, 9, inventiveness. Is this game inventive? Yes, of course it is. It created a whole different way of playing a game, using words to discover information. Never been done before as far as I know, and if it's been done since, it has not been done this well. This invented a genre as well, like passport games, where you're checking small details, I think can be traced back to her story right here. It's well worth a playthrough just to see how the gameplay works. 10 on inventiveness. Probably our most important category, our last category, is this game fun? Yes, it is absolutely a lot of fun, but it is fun in a different, there's a lot of information, a lot of the stuff is very heavy. To take it all in, that takes away from some of the fun, even though it's wildly, immensely joyful to play. It is not all that fun because it's such a heavy topic. I find it kind of similar to reading a book. There's no tension, there are no stakes really in this one. There are things that pique your interests, but there is no, if I don't do this, the world is going to end. I'm not going to save the girl, the guy, the hostages, whatever you might be trying to do in a game. The stakes are very low, so that takes a little bit away from it, but overall the game is a lot of fun. 8 out of 10 on this one. Wild card, you get 1 bonus point because you did something that's never been done before, a game where words actually matter. Totally unique, love it. Overall, we are going to rate this game very highly with an 87 overall. An absolutely fabulous game, which we think you should try and play. The final verdict. Yeah, this game's a lot of fun. It is a little snippet of time in 1994 as well, which I like that. It's a little bit nostalgic. And there's a reason this game was on so many Game of the Year lists when it came out. It is really well done. Over 100,000 copies of this were sold in the first 3 months that was out, just on Steam alone. Steam has it at nearly $3 million in earnings for this game, and that is not bad when the game costs 10 bucks. It is 100% worth checking out. I revisited this game from playing it initially when it came out in 2015, played it again now in 2025, 10 years later. Still got me, still interesting, still captivating, still wanted to play it through the whole way. You can usually find this game under 10 bucks. Give it a whirl, definitely worth your money. With that, I'm going to say thank you from the Full Motion Video Archive. If you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and also check out our other videos. We dive deep into the full motion world, so check us out. Thank you.